out, brother.
Hey. All right, first and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWAH.
double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation and much love to you all. Come out there pushing out the word and truth and sincerity. And we got a special guest today, the elder YAHAWAH.
Hey, Shalom.
Brother came down from South Carolina, so we take the opportunity to do a video with the elder, and the Lord willing, this edifying and exhorting to you sincere brethren out there. We're gonna let the Spirit flow and let the Lord do His thing. You got something you want to start off?
Yeah. This is Isaiah chapter 31, verse 1. It says, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong, but it look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord." All right, and we, like I was telling the brothers, on the way up here to the brother's house, seeing on the side of the road, somebody put out a sign said free groceries, had some, some bread out there and a couple other bags of whatever was in there, but it made me think about the bread and circus, that America portrayed and that Rome portrayed before it started, before its collapse, and you got the spirit of these people, that they wanted to go to Egypt, all right, that's America is spiritual Egypt, okay, and so these people going to this place for help, and they're not seeking after the Lord for the help that they really need, all right, they go into the welfare, they get into this welfare system, to try to get food, get money, get housing, all right, but they're not trusting into the Lord, man, they're trusting into this devil, all right, Esau, Edom. Okay, and he said because they are many, and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, man. You see, because Esau right now has the power, and mainly our women are the ones that are going to Esau for this help, man. Okay.
And you see, as you see, man, people are really relying on this government, and he's the one that's gonna give you the boot in the ass. So you going to the oppressor, but he's the one that put you in the condition that you're in. He's the reason why, you need food stamps and, you broke, you got to go get free food, But it's the system that has put you in this, and the Lord is bringing the system down, man. The same system that you're going to help for.
That's right. Got a precept for Egypt. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 1, verse 5. It says, "Go thy way and show my people their sinful deeds, and their children their wickedness which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children. Because the sins of their father are increased in them, for they have forgotten me and have offered unto strange gods." And that's one of the main things that Israel always done, worship strange gods. That's how we got in the position that we're in now, disobeying the commands of the Lord. The brother can get the book of Baruch, chapter 1, verse 19, I think starting around about 19. It goes on. It says, verse 7, "Am not I even he that brought them out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage? But they have provoked me unto wrath and despised my counsels. Pull thou off then the hair of thy head and cast all evil upon them, for they have not been obedient unto my law, but it is a rebellious people." And well documented. Israelites, man, a rebellious, disobedient, gainsaying people, right? He says, verse 9, he says, "How long shall I forbear them unto whom I have done so much good? Many kings have I destroyed for their sakes. Pharaoh with his power have I smitten down." So in the times past, Most High did cast down the Egyptians, but we in spiritual Egypt now. Revelation, somebody can grab that one or whatever. Yeah, what I'm just let the Spirit.
Yeah, and to add on to what the elder saying, or what we just read, even after the Lord delivered us from Pharaoh, the hand of Pharaoh, the captivity we were in, the bondage, Israel wanted to go right back, man. They started murmuring, complaining. The Lord gave them manna. They complained about that. They never took into account that they had the same garments, the same shoes for all them years. They just complaining. Then quail came raining out the sky. The Lord gave them so much quail. They had quail coming out of their ears, man. And it just shows our people are just ungrateful, man. But look, the Lord still had mercy on them, man. Even after He delivered them in a great way, man. and they still, you know, didn't want to take heed to the Lord, man. That's why the Lord's gonna just brought us back into Egypt again to do the same thing all over again, but in a much more greater way. And He's only gonna save His elect this time, because that's what it's all about.
Right. Now, yeah, you know what? I want to hit this precept. Psalm 78, because the brother said he mentioned something. It's 50. On the news. You can go ahead and read that.
This is Baruch 1 verse 19. It says, since the day that the Lord brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt until this present day, we have been disobedient unto the Lord our power.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. To this day, our people are still disobedient, man. Since the day we left Egypt, you know, since to this very day, our people are still disobedient to the Lord. They hear about this truth. We tell them that don't do this. The Lord said not to do that. They still go, whatever, you know, because they're disobedient, man. They're disobedient and stiff-necked people, man.
Since the day the Lord brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt until this present day, we have been disobedient unto the Lord our power, and we have been negligent in not hearing His voice.
And how does the Lord speak, man? Through His prophets, man. They're negligent, not hearing His voice. The Lord ain't finna come down here and you know, talk to you one-on-one. Remember when he tried that? Man, why Moses got to talk to him? They let him come talk to us, and as soon as he started coming, man, they're oh no, you know, nah, you talk to him, Moses, because that's how the Lord's gonna speak to you through His men, His chosen men.
Verse 20, the point, it says, wherefore these evils cleave unto us, in the curse which the Lord appointed by Moses, His servant.
Real quick, he said that's why these evils have come upon us. That's one of the curses, that we should go on for the one of all things. We should go, you know, to the wicked, you know, to our oppressor. You know, so this is why now, after all these generations, Jacob's been messed up, because what? They didn't trust in the Lord. All right, they trusted in oppression. So now they've been given up over to these devils. Now they have to go to them. You didn't want to trust the Lord, who gave you everything. Like your brother said, He gave them manna, He gave them water from a rock. All right, their shoes didn't even wear out, man. But now you didn't want to trust Him now. All right, cool. I'm gonna give you over to what you want and see how good you do out there, man.
Verse 20, it says, wherefore these evils cleave unto us in the curse. Do you remember 28?
Yeah.
And 15.
Yep. Matter of fact, when you finish that, going on into chapter 2. You know, as you finish going into chapter 2.
It says, wherefore these evils cleave unto us in the curse which the Lord appointed by Moses, which we always bring out. Yeah. That's how we know that we Israelites. By the curses, Deuteronomy 28, the elders always going to it. That's like the beginning. Hey, how are y'all Israelites? How do y'all know? By the prophecies through the curses. You know, that's what brothers always bring out, you know? Yeah. It says, which the Lord appointed by the Moses, His servant, at the time that He brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt, to give us a land that flowed with milk and honey, like as it is to see this day. Nevertheless, we have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord our God, according unto all the words of the prophets, like the brother said. You know? And Moses, was he not a prophet?
Yep.
You know, Moses was indeed a prophet, man. Yeah. Okay? It says, whom He sent unto us, but every man followed the imagination of his own wicked heart, to serve strange gods and to do evil in the sight of the Lord our power. That was the end of
Yeah. Would you go? Yeah, go ahead on in verse 2. Yeah, it's gonna pick
chapter 2.
Yeah.
Right, Baruch chapter 2, verse 1. It says, therefore the Lord hath made good His word, which He pronounced against us. So the word of the Lord is one thing you can bet on. You know what I mean? It might not come when we say it, or that year, or that year, but that's one thing you can bet all your money on. Is guaranteed the word of the Lord is going to come to pass.
No doubt. You know? And two, this is for people that think that number one, the Israel is not under the curses, and also people that say that the Apocrypha is not part of the Bible, because it links up perfectly with what's written. It says that the curses that written in the book of Moses on the servant of God. You know. So yeah, it's perfect. And it also, I'm not gonna get I can grab it, Daniel chapter 9, around about verse 11.
It says, therefore the Lord hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us and against our judges that judge Israel, and against our kings and against our princes and against the men of Israel and of Judah.
All 12 tribes.
Yeah.
You got it, bro.
But real quick, I want to make a point. You see how I said pronounced against our judges, against Israel, against our kings. But prior before the next chapter said the prophets. So go show you the prophet is above, you know, all of them. That's the one who the king go to the prophet to see what to do.
That's right.
So it just lets you know, like, look, he pronounced this against. How did he pronounce it? Through the pro means before. So it goes to show you that the prophet is against all these offices in Israel, as far as kings and princes and so on and so forth. You know, I just want to make that.
Yeah, you got it right, because the prophets are the mouthpiece of the Lord. Matter of fact, I got a quick precept. Hosea 12 verse 9, and either them the Lord thy power from the land of Egypt will yet make thee to dwell in tabernacles as in the days of the solemn feast. I have also spoken by the prophets, the Most High speaking. I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. Yeah.
I got a quick precept to back that up as well. This is a Baruch. What is this? Oh wait, this is in the same chapter. But in Baruch 2 and 20, it says, "For thou hast sent out thy wrath and indignation upon us, as thou hast spoken by thy servants the prophets." And so when the Lord's bringing that wrath and his indignation, guess what? You already knew about it, because he spoke. He told you it was going to come. You know.
Back to Baruch 2 and 2, it says, to bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven.
And to who? Israel. All these things, the worst things on the planet have happened to who? Israel. The worst time that's coming is called the time of Jacob's trouble. It's specifically for our people, man. But what? Because the blessings are going to be specifically for our people, and it's going to be the greatest ever seen on the planet. Just like the curses. You know, so the Lord is a perfect balance, man. He did the worst atrocities unto us, and then he's going to give us the biggest benefits ever known to mankind, man.
Real quick, but I might say this, because it's the spirit, you know, we're going into the Lord, you know, bringing these things onto Israel and the deliverance. You know, we're in the time of the Passover. You know, during the time, you know, of the Passover, you know, written in the scriptures and the book of Exodus, you know, all the things that the Lord was doing, all those signs that the Lord was showing to Israel, he did unto the Egyptians. All right, now our people have mingled into that. All right, now they're a part of that, the modern day Egyptians. So now they're getting ready to feel the wrath of the Heavenly Father firsthand. All right, in form of plagues and pestilences, all because they didn't want to trust in the Lord. They didn't believe him. All right, because what, the Egyptians, they got jacked up because they didn't believe in Moses. They didn't think, oh well, these things ain't gonna come to us, man. This guy's a damn fool. Which is what they say about us today, man. Mainly our people. You know, just wanted to say that.
Brother, right? Because you know, Esau, the heathen, they'll believe like, damn, what they might be saying is true. They'll believe before Jake. Jake would just be like, oh man, these dudes crazy. Ain't none of that coming to pass. But in the back of the heathen's mind, they like, you know, Esau, he like, man, what they saying? That's why he preparing. He got a space program.
Yep.
He has, you know, he's preparing all these things. He preparing. That's why he got the people to come into the truth and you know and infiltrate and so on and so forth. Because Esau believed more than our people.
Yeah.
You know what they said? They know, you know, what we saying is true. You know.
Yep. You know what we saying is gonna come to pass.
Yeah.
This is what it's the Lord speaking through us.
That's right.
We're not making this up. We don't just sit down and before camp we just write things down, random things we want to talk about. No, we go out there and the Lord starts speaking to us.
That's right.
Numbers 14 and 26. It says, and the Lord YAHAWASHI spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, how long shall I bear with this evil congregation, which murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. Say unto them, as truly as I live, saith the Lord, as ye have spoken in my ears, so will I do to you. You know, so the Lord is going to bring forth that judgment. Man. You know, later on in the chapter, it said their carcass shall fall. You know, in the wilderness, and that's ultimately what's going to happen again. Isaiah 65 and 13 says, therefore will I number you to the sword. Man. So the Lord is getting ready to number Israel because they don't want to listen to the mouth of the prophets, which is the voice of the Lord. He's going to ultimately number you to the sword, man. You know?
That's right. Real quick. I got Jude chapter 1, verse 8, verse 5. Salaki. It says, I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not. So, hey, just like the brothers bring it out, Jacob always murmured after the Most High deliver us. You know, just like now, you're seeing people getting all afraid. Whenever something happens, people start listening to the prophets, but if things calm down, they go right back to being wicked all over again. Just like they did down there in New Orleans when Hurricane Katrina came through. Jake was all messed up and worried, but now look, it's even more wicked than it was before. You see? So our people are very wicked, gainsaying people, man. After the Lord delivered the Israelites and they saw the miracles, they still had the nerve, you know, to murmur against the leaders that the Most High set up, against Moses, you know, against all the prophets, and even now today. You know, I just kind of did a search on my own page, GMS Narrator SC. You got guys making parody videos about me. Put my face on it, you know, because scoffers come on the comment board with nothing to say, and I'll delete them, and I'll take their comments off, right? Take off, you know, because it's a bunch of folly. Dudes making videos about me, or you got these guys, Judah Nazareth and the Old Testament only Israelites made a 4-hour something live stream calling us Israelite heathens. You know, saying that we ain't men of the Lord, and just different stuff like that, man. So you can have people that's doing, you know, then it's our own people that's doing it. With all these different doctrines, you got 501c3 Israelites. You know, you got a bunch of wicked Israelites, man. That's why the Lord got to go through the 2/3 like a damn buzzsaw, man, because they wicked. You know, Lord willing, you know, we're not of that number. You know, go ahead, bro. Y'all got it.
Because that destruction that's coming for you 2/3, man, y'all, there ain't gonna be no remedy for you, man. There ain't gonna be. That's why the scripture says, you know, in the day of your calamity, you know, go and cry unto your gods and see if they shall save you, man.
Right.
You know, like brother said, man, it's gonna be a buzzsaw on you guys, man. You ain't never seen a buzzsaw, man, and how quick it destroys something. You just slide something through there and it cuts it right in half, man. And that's how the Most High is gonna do y'all, man. Ultimately ending with the decimal destruction. All right, that broomstick coming to sweep up the residue, the mess. You know, the residue. I ain't talking about the elect. I'm talking about the rest of you niggas that's still walking around, you know, committing your wickedness. Still, even because you're gonna still have niggas stuck to the missiles, still murmuring.
Yeah. This is 2 Chronicles 36 and I started 15. And Yahawah, the power of their fathers, said to them by his messengers, rising up betimes and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. But they mocked the messengers of the Most High, and despised his words, and misused his prophets, until the wrath of Yahawah arose against his people, till there was no remedy.
And that wrath that's getting ready to come, man, is in the form of Jacob's trouble. All right, we see the precursors, the preliminaries happening right now. You know, with the main card is getting ready to come up. All right, we're getting ready to come into the main event. All right, because you see a lot of Jake don't really like watching the undercard. Oh, we ain't got to worry about them fights, man. Them guys are nobodies. All right, but it's just that's leading you up to what's coming, man. And that's the coronavirus, you know, these little skirmishes or protests happening around the earth, man. All these things are the undercard getting ready to lead up to this main event that's gonna happen here in America, man. Okay. Yeah.
Quick precept, because what you mentioned, this is Judges chapter 10, verse 13. It says, "Yet ye have forsaken me and served other gods, wherefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation."
See, there you go, man. So when that time comes, man, let Serapis Christi come save you, man.
Right.
You know, let him save you out of the madness that's going through, man. Because right now you calling on that Cesare Borgia, but what is he doing? Is he saving you? You still in the same struggle, man.
Same struggle.
All right, what? Because Esau extend your section 8, you think, oh man, Jesus did all the time.
That's what they say, all the time, right?
Yeah. You know, hey man, you folks are gonna learn the hard way, man. You know, you're gonna learn the hard way that Most High ain't nobody to play with, man. You know. Go ahead.
Back in Baruch 2, it says, 2 and 2, it says, to bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven.
Hey, because what? During the time of the Passover, going into Egypt, those plagues were atrocious, man. Those were, we still read about those plagues that happened in Egypt, man. But this is talking about plagues that are going to be like none other, man. The scriptures say that, man, that it's going to be like a day like no other, man. Because the things that are getting ready to happen upon the earth is going to be magnified compared to what happened in Egypt. That's why this place is called spiritually Egypt, man. Okay? Go ahead.
It says, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses.
See? According to
back to them, referring back, references back to the Jerusalem.
I got two quick precepts. Jeremiah 11, verse 11, it says, therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them which they shall not be able to escape. And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them.
So you can't escape the curses, man. It don't matter what you look like, what part of the world you live in at. If you're an Israelite, you're gonna be under these curses, man. Right. Some are better off than others, but they still get catching hell, man. They still under the curses, man. You ain't so special Israelite, man. You can't escape it like the brother just read.
They show you example through the celebrities of our people. No matter how rich you is, I remember Chris Rock, he was like showing, he got pulled over again by the police. No matter how rich you a celebrity or whatnot, you still subject to the curses, backing the brother up. So whether you think you're a little better off, hey, you're still under the curses.
The Kobe.
Yeah.
Like when Kanye said, you just a nigga, you got a Benz, you just a nigga with a Benz.
Yeah.
Last precept. Ezekiel 8 and 18. Therefore will I also deal in my fury. My eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in my ears with a loud voice, yet will I not hear them.
Lord ain't gonna hear it, man. It's gonna say what? They're gonna be in that day. They're gonna be saying, Lord, Lord. Talking about these wicked men in Israel. But people in that day, they're gonna be calling on the Lord, man, trying to seek Him, because they're gonna, man, what was that name? What were them guys talking about? And they might find an ISUPK video, they might find an IURC video still up on the internet. Because the real men of the Lord, they're gonna be getting shut down. All right, but what they're gonna find a name, they're gonna try to call on the name of the Father, but Most High is not gonna hear that, man. Because what? Right now we went into that camp. The Most High is calling out to you, and you basically putting the Most High on a decline, man. Putting him to go to voicemail. So Most High is gonna put you to voicemail when you call on him. Okay.
That's right.
Done on that point?
Yeah, that's right.
Back to Baruch 2, verse 3. It says that a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter.
That's coming back in style, because this happened before. All right, when Jerusalem was besieged, and there were the Romans had compassed them. All right, they started eating their kids, eating leather boots, and you're gonna eat your kids again, man. You're gonna be waiting for the nigga to drop dead next to you so you can eat him. And that's gonna be a heavy curse, man. Because we're reading it out of the scriptures, man. Good.
Verse 4, it says, moreover, he hath delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be as a reproach and desolation among all the people round about.
So you get Jake who's mad at the man, but you put yourself in that situation. You in your past lives, man. See, that's what Jake don't consider. They don't consider what they've done to put themselves in that situation. It's always blaming somebody else. That's the easiest way to make you feel better. But no, man, you got to take account for it, and the Most High is he's gonna make you be accountable for your actions, man. Okay.
Quick precept to go with what you just read out of Baruch, saying that we've been delivered to all the kingdoms in subjection. This is Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth, even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. See? So it's confirmed. I mean, these books go hand in hand. The Apocrypha is part of the Holy Bible that these devils took out. And a lot of these New Testament Christians, they love to say, well, the Lord, they say Jesus never talked about that. Well, he did talk about it. If you go to the book of Luke, real quick, Luke chapter 21, he said the same thing. We were going to captivity. Going back to the curses, Luke 21 verse 24, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
And that's a you know, when people say that the Apocrypha ain't part of the scriptures, just because they don't know nothing, man.
Yeah.
But if you get an old Spanish Bible, it's not even, you know, how the King James sections this out. It says Apocrypha. In the old Spanish Bible, it's just in there. They don't point it out. It's just in there, like it's part of the Old Testament. You know, so they don't know nothing, man. You know, and again, like I was saying, man, they don't know the scriptures, man. You know, because it's talked about the same thing in the New Testament that's spoken about. Where do you think they were quoting out of? They were quoting out of the Old Testament. You know, and then when you go to the Apocrypha, those are characters mentioned in the Old Testament. Baruch, Ezra, you know, Wisdom of Solomon. This is not fiction, you know. You call them science fiction Israelites.
Yeah. Worry about the earth being flat.
Yeah.
Now, off the comment board, the brother got him. What we doing is we going back into history, tying in up until this current time right now. The brother Spiritual Art got Romans 15 verse 4. It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Now the God of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded one toward another, according to YAHAWASHI." See? So we learn, you know, based off of what was written before time. And as even when YAHAWASHI was on the scene, he told the wicked Israelites, you're gonna do the same thing that you always did. He said, "Fill you up then the measure of your fathers." The scriptures tell us that the spirits of the prophets are subject unto the prophets. So you're going to fall in the lot that you were in back then. That's why we pray that we stay in the lot that we're in now, as the prophets, as the men of the Lord. Because of that.
Very quick, and it said that precept in Romans, it said through patience and comfort, right? Because, you know, through the scriptures that we've been given, we see that we have to have patience, because all these calamities that the Heavenly Father brought to the Israelites, He always delivered them up out of it. All right, so we know that we have to be patient, because at the end we're going to see some type of salvation if we serve the Heavenly Father in truth and sincerity, man. And that's where the comfort comes in, you know, our salvation. Okay, and that's what these jakes out there ain't getting. They don't have no comfort. Okay, and that's why they don't have no patience. People out here are just, you know, wheeling and dealing however they want to, man.
You want to see how patientless our people is, go to a red light, man, and just sit there 2 seconds after it turns green. They blaring the horn, you know, screaming at the cashier, you know, like bugging out at the waitress because it took too long to bring you a cup of water. There's people who don't have patience, man. The Lord is truly manifesting. Well, the Lord is the perfect example of patience and long suffering. But now He's showing that through His men, man. He's showing you how to be patient in the physical, you know, and He's showing it through His prophets. Because we patiently waiting for the Lord to return, man. You know, we hope to endure, you know, hope to be long suffering just like our Lord and Savior, man. You know, because we gotta wait for Him to return. You know, we can't lose. The scriptures say, "Woe unto you that have lost patience." Right. You know.
Yeah, that's in the Apocrypha. Hey, but real quick, I want to speak on what you said about the patience, because when you show patience, you show it's not about you. It goes into the denying yourself, right? Because if it was up to you, you wouldn't wait if it was up to you. But when you show patience for showing forth, you denying yourself. And then even far as, you know, going to a YAHWAH, don't know, he waiting on the Father. And then what? What's the Father? Why he gotta wait? Because what? He's bound to his words. You know? So he's showing, he even showing the ultimate, he's an example of himself, man. He ain't a hypocrite. He's an example of himself to show patience, because why? He spoke these words, so therefore he bound to his own words. So he have to suffer, you know, patiently wait for all this wickedness to you know, to be put to naught. You know what I mean? Because even the Most High, he's bound to his own words. You know.
Yeah, I got it right here, written in red. Luke 21 verse 17. He says, "And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but there shall not an hair of your head perish. In your patience possess ye your souls."
Patience,
it's real quick. It's not about waiting. It's about how you wait. Because you could like use the example of the stoplight. You can be waiting for to the next car to move, but you over there blaring the horn, screaming, ready to fight somebody. But that's not patience just because you're waiting. Patience is how you wait. You know, it say like the scripture that I was just read, man. And your patience possess your soul. It's not bug out and just be a demon. Just because you're waiting on the Lord, but you just a complete demon.
I got a quick precept.
And if you want to, I can look the word up. The word patience in the Greek. You see what it goes. All right, so in the Greek, the word for patience is hupomene. It says cheerful, endurance, constancy, enduring, patience, patient continuance. It goes a little further. It says steadfastness, constancy, endurance. In the New Testament, the characteristic of a man who is not swerved from his deliberate purpose and his loyalty to faith and piety by even the greatest trials and sufferings. Like the brother said, it's about how you wait. Patiently and steadfastly, a patient enduring, sustaining perseverance. When you read in Ecclesiastes chapter 2, it says what? You got to constantly endure. So it's not just about the waiting itself, it's how you wait. What are you doing? The Lord said that we got to go and do this work. We got to bring in more by trading, as it were. Going out and do the work.
Because you remember that evil servant, he said, "My Lord delayeth his coming."
Right.
So the Lord coming, but what he began to smite his fellow servants. Right, yeah. What I mean? Yeah, he waiting. He just said he delayed his coming, but look how he waiting. Smiting his servants, saying this and that, this, that, and the third. But he know the Lord's waiting, but he just lost patience. You know what I mean? So he began to act unruly, and how he wait. Going into it's not waiting, it's how you wait.
Like the old saying, it's not what happens, it's how you handle what happens.
Real quick, this is Jeremiah chapter 18, verse 11. It says, "Now therefore go to, speak to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, Thus saith Yahawah, Behold, I frame evil against you, and devise a device against you. Return ye now every one from his evil way, and make your ways and your doings good." Right? And that's what we're doing. We're telling Jake to come back to this truth, and in doing so, you're going to gain that patience. You're going to gain that comfort. Okay? And this is what Israel says. This is verse 12. "And they said, There is no hope, but we will walk after our own devices, and we will every one do the imagination of his evil heart." All right? And see, that's what Israel do. They don't have no hope because they can't. They're sitting at the red light. Like the brother was saying, as soon as it's turning green, they just want to get up out of there, man. And Jake, they look at this truth and they're like, man, there ain't no hope in that. You been having dudes saying this for years and years ago, man, and nothing still ain't come. Because these people ain't got no patience, they ain't got no hope.
Yeah, they don't have no faith. Because what is faith? The things hoped for, not seen, man. They don't know what's going on. Because they claim, even people go to church, man, they don't know. They don't have no faith, man. Because those are the same people blaring the horn at the stoplight, man. No patience. And if you don't have patience in your daily life, how can you have patience to wait upon the Lord? You want to say something?
Yeah, I got to make a point. Going into this whole thing is our people hate correction. They hate they hate obedience. They like doing their own thing. That's why the scriptures say, correction is grievous unto him that forsaken the way. They want to do their own thing. They see it in their own eyes. It's best I go this way, and ultimately forsaking the Lord. The Lord increases them, and going into our history, the Lord puts us on high with what? Like scripture say, just on wax fat and kick. Every time the Lord does something good to us, what do? We pretty much spit it back in his face, and then the Lord comes back, bringing back his servants to prophesy because of his mercy. Brought out 2 Chronicles, as extension of his mercy, and what they mock the prophets, until what? Until what do you expect? There's no remedy, and our people get destroyed.
Yeah, we give you the scripture. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3. It says, "Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? But since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation.
Yeah, hey, because it's no different. It's the same story playing over and over again. Like Mark Twain said, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. It's the same thing happening over and over again. Like people who fall away. Here it is, the Lord's gathering us back together, again because of His mercy, and our people still want to stay. We'll stay in Egypt. Let's continue doing what we're doing. We're living good. And obviously that's not the case, because that's what happens. Our Lord ultimately has to destroy our people because they don't want to listen in the first place.
Because their way, like the brother said, their way is always the easiest way. They want to do what they want. That's always the easiest way. But the scriptures say, when thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 2. I start at 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble.
So, hey, the spirit, the brother was holding it on deck right there. So, their way is always the easy. I want to do it this way, that way.
They move in haste.
Yeah,
now, Jake want to be a king and be on high, but he don't want to do the things that it takes to be, a king.
Exactly, and what you can acknowledge that through your day-to-day life. Everything that's done quick is usually always the worst option.
That's right.
It's quick microwave meals. That's quick. These quick build houses, they end up falling in like 10 years from now. A Bentley or something. They say it takes 6 months to make a Bentley, and it take 6 weeks to make a Toyota or some shit. You know what I mean? So you see that throughout your day-to-day life. The things that take the longest patience is the things that really are the better deal. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, the perfect example is that Micro society is Esau's kingdom. Here Esau, he had his thing, he's doing his thing, he's on top. Guess what? His latter end is destruction.
1 hour.
Exactly, all that to nothing. High-rise buildings, and it's all going to be turned to dust and ash, and never going to be remembered again.
He pushed that vibration on everybody, that instant gratification.
We got another one. Romans 8:24. For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience, there's a word, wait for it. The
Lord said, blessed are ye, for ye have not seen and believe.
Right, yeah.
We don't need to see. Jake like the scripture say, they seek the sign. They want to see, a big billboard of the Lord, or something. They just want tangible evidence. We don't need tangible. All we need is the scriptures, man. The words of the Heavenly Father, man. All right, because then it wouldn't really be hope. What are you hoping for if you see it?
Said. So also, going back to what we read in 1 Peter, what the brother was talking about, that Jake don't want to wait, and that they think that the end is never going to come. We read that in 2 Peter 3. This is Ezekiel chapter 12, verse 26. Again, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesied of the times that are far off. They think the end is never going to come. They think it's always going to be like this. We're going to always be around here, having bike week. Just in America with no money, being broke. That's why a lot of times guys get impatient and they sell out. Like when the apostles bring out about the year 2000 thing, when a whole lot of guys fell out when America wasn't destroyed in the year 2000. But when you go into the scriptures and you read, even when dealing with Jonah, what did Jonah say? He said, yet 40 days and Nineveh shall be overthrown, and then it wasn't destroyed at that time, right? But when you read in the book of Tobit, that it did finally get destroyed. Nineveh did finally fall. Same thing with Babylon the Great. This place is going to be destroyed. We see things happen. Babylon the Great is getting more wicked. The Israelites are growing more and more. Brothers waking up all over the earth. Camps. You got a new camp, Nigeria. I think I just saw a new camp in the Dominican Republic. You got the brother over there in Ireland. You got brothers waking up all over the earth. So it wasn't like this even 5 years ago. Brothers got it.
Real quick, just a quick example of that. Jake don't see this destruction coming. I went to visit my pops this past weekend, and he went and pulled out the little scriptures because he knows we're into the word, and him and his wife are Jehovah's Witnesses,
Okay.
And so he started asking me about the whole 1,000 years, and he said, because I know it started in 1914. I'm like, 1914? I was like, I'm like, it ain't nowhere even close to 1,000 years. So you mean to tell me we got to be here for another 900 something years?
Shit. There'd be nothing left to say. Like the scripture said. Yeah. This place would be through, man. Yep. I mean, think about it. This is another 5 years of America. This place is an atrocious cesspool of abomination, man. It can't get any worse than this, but it's going to, as far as the wrath of the Lord. But imagine if the Lord didn't bring destruction to this place. You know how wicked this place would be? It'd be illegal just imagine we being out there preaching. We'd get locked up, man. 5 years, 5 years from now.
Kind of quick precept. You quoted it. This is Matthew 24 and 22. It says, and except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh. So there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So hey, man, these days are going to be shortened. Things are going to come quick. Like the elder was just speaking about. People not. I forget exactly what example he gave, but just like in the 1990 thing, the Y2K, people thought the end was going to come. And it didn't. Okay, going into the 40 days, so like that's what it was. The 40 days. After 40 days, Nineveh wasn't destroyed. People thought Babylon the Great, America was going to get destroyed in 2000, but it didn't happen. So people lost faith over that. A lot of people, like the apostles always say, a lot of people fell out over that. Went right back into the world.
Stumbling block.
Yep.
Real quick precept. St. John 20 verse 29 says, YAHWASHI said unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed.
We haven't seen the end, but we believe it's coming. And then the Lord, the bonus was He gave us signs. We see the signs. The other people don't see the signs. They just think, just another natural disaster or just another virus.
There's always been earthquakes.
Yeah, there's always been. They've been saying that since my grandma was little. Okay, well, when your grandma was little, World War III wasn't on the brink of happening, was it?
Right.
And earthquakes wasn't happening in Puerto Rico.
Not like that.
The Israelites wasn't waking up.
Exactly. That's the biggest sign.
Right.
The prophets standing on the corners, man.
That's right. Brother got a lot of scriptures on the comic book. This is Banyam 144. James 5 and 10, take my brethren the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. That's that word again, patience. As the scriptures also says, we through comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Go ahead, brothers.
I got a quick precept. Romans 9 and 22, going into the patience of the Heavenly Father. It says, Romans 9 and 22, what if the Most High, willing to show His wrath and to make His power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction. And I go into that word long suffering for you brothers, and it's a point I wanted to make real quick. It says patience, endurance, constancy, slowness in avenging wrongs. So the Lord is showing that long suffering by the slowness of the scripture says, though the sentence of an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of the Son of Man are fully set in them to do evil. And that's what the Lord is showing. The Lord is showing how patience He is in having vessels fitted for destruction, man. So and that's why the patience got to be on you. The Lord has to put the Spirit on you to suffer long for this thing, man. That's why scripture says, though it tarry, wait for it, it shall not tarry, man.
Does it on that?
Yeah.
All right, real quick, because brothers keep going into that word patience, and like we always brought out, when you're patient at a hospital. I mean, you're suffering, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the reason how we're able to maintain being a patient, suffering, because when you suffer, you go to the hospital, you need some healing. That's why you go to the hospital. You want to be relieved. You want to be soothed of that suffering, of that pain that you're feeling. So what do we go to while we patience? What do we go to? We go to this word. It's Psalms 107 and 20. He sent His word and healed them and delivered them from their destructions. And I got one quick one to bring home the point. It's 1 Thessalonians 4 and 17. It says, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, And so shall we ever be with the Lord. Verse 18, wherefore comfort one another with these words. So as we patiently wait and we patience, we go what? To the healer, which is his word to soothe that pain from being a patient waiting, waiting for the actual healer to come and wipe away everything,
Like you said, like brother said, the comforter. We comforted one another with these words.
Really, which is what Yahawashi came back to do, back when he was in, during the time of Yahawashi, I don't know, the brother said he came to heal those that were sick. He said, I've come not for them that are whole, but them that in need of a physician.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So quick precept, John 14:16, and I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever. Verse 26, but the comforter, which is the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. John 15:26, but when the Comforter is come, whom I will send unto you from the Father, even the Spirit of truth, which proceeded from the Father, he shall testify of me. So, like the brother bring it out, that part of the patience, that we, and the long suffering that we're dealing with, we're able to do that because of why? Because of these words. We're comforting one another with these words. And look at the comment board. Brothers all over the comment board posting scriptures. That's why the live stream format is popular, because brothers all over the earth that's suffering, patiently waiting.
That medicine.
Yeah, just say it, brother. Say it.
That medicine.
That's right. That's right. That medicine, man. You got y'all really got it. I'm trying to
daily dose.
That's right. Yeah.
That's why the Lord said, "Feed my sheep, man." You don't feed a sheep every now and then. You gotta feed them food,
Yeah.
Just like you eat every day,
Daily exhortation, daily edification, right?
And then as a body, there's so much food out there, man. All the videos brothers put out as just GM Great Millstone, man.
Yeah. Can't even watch it.
Yeah, your phone overload, trying to upload, trying to download all the videos. There's an abundance of food out there, man. Yeah. The word of the Lord is flourishing, man. There ain't no excuses. We're showing you how to be patient, beginning with the apostles and elders on down. The Lord is giving you examples right there in your face,
I got a quick precept, 3 precepts, but because we was going into, how we started off this lesson about how, we forsook our Lord and these evils came upon us. And Proverbs 11:1, it says, a false balance is abomination to the Lord thy God. So that being said, like we always say, brothers, we like to bring the oppressor, blame the oppressor, but we got ourselves into this in reality. So that being said, what the Lord brought that sore stroke upon us. Okay, so the Lord know the condition we in. We torn up. So why a balance with the Lord? He gonna tear you down with what? Then he also is gonna heal you. He's gonna pretty much heal the wounds that he afflict, because that's the balance of the Lord. He ain't just gonna leave you there wounded and just leave you there suffering. So Isaiah 47:6, it says, I was wroth with my people, have polluted my inheritance. So the Lord know the position that we in. So that's why he sent his son Yahawashi. And then Yahawashi furthermore, he said, I come to finish the work that my father has done. The Lord sent Yahawashi to heal us, man. That's why he came down and he did what he had to do. I came to heal the brokenhearted. He told the disciple, hey, if I do not go, I cannot send you the comforter. Right? Which we're going to now. That's why we have these words to heal us and to comfort us and to make us feel that relief in these last days. So going back to the point, it says, I was wroth with my people, my inheritance, and giving them into thy hand, and thou didst show them no mercy. Upon ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke.
Right. And when you go into Psalms, it says the Most High punished us by the wicked, which is his sword. And he put us into the hands of these devils, man. But it's all for a plan. The Most High is a master chess player. He put us in captivity for our iniquities, right? By he used the wicked to do it, but then he's going to come back and he's going to deliver us and punish the wicked.
All right, quick precept. Just to prove how Israel, is wounded, we're sick. This is through that sword. This is Jeremiah chapter 30, and I'll start at verse 11. It says, "For I am with thee, saith Yahawah to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations whither I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished." Verse 12, "For thus saith Yahawah, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous." So Israel has been wounded. We've been bruised. Our bruise is incurable. But what? The Lord sent that physician. Because what? When you get that wound or you get a sickness or you got to go to the physician. You get an ankle sprain. You got to go get that wrapped up, man. You got to get an ice pack, a prescription for some pain medication, which is His word. This is what numbs the pain that we haven't even endured in this everyday life, man.
That's why it's the comfort.
Yeah. Just want to bring that up.
Until He comes and actually,
well, here it is.
Yeah.
Because it said, verse 13, it says, "There is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicines until YAHAWASHI."
That's right.
There's no other way.
That's heavy.
That's the only way.
What that is?
Right there.
I'll say that goes perfectly with Isaiah, the first chapter. It says, why should thou be stricken anymore? You revolt more and more. The whole head is sick. Our nation from top to bottom is like it says, sores, incurable wounds. And that people don't want going to us being patient. People don't want to be. Our people don't want to be healed.
Now, real quick, to add in what brothers are saying about how the balance also, the Most High is tearing towards down. He's also going to deliver us. This is Job 5:17. "Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth. Therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. For He maketh sore and bindeth up. He woundeth, and His hands make whole." So the Most High is, He's the one that put these things upon us, but He's going to deliver us. At the same time, He's going to also judge the wicked and the nations for their iniquity, for what they did unto His chosen.
I got a precept to go with that. This is Baruch 4:24. "Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see surely your salvation from the Most High, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting." You want to say something?
No.
Okay, got it. Verse 25. "My children suffer patiently." There goes the word again. "My children suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from the Most High.
Yeah.
For thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction and shalt tread upon his neck."
Hey, real quick, Micah 7.
Okay.
All right, "I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against Him."
And you have how you gonna know that? By coming to the word, man. Because you're not gonna even know that if you never come to the conclusion through the scriptures, man. You're not gonna know that you sin. I gotta take this patiently because I sin. You're not gonna know that unless the Comforter comes upon you, the Holy Ghost. The Holy Spirit comes upon you to understand that.
No, real quick, and that's beautiful, brother, because like you said, we suffering all this hell, but we have understanding on why we going, and that's what makes us able to cope with the hell, and make us able to cope with what we're going through, because we understand the whole matter. All things written for our learning. Go ahead.
Yep. Now I got what you quoted. This is Micah 7:8. "Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord YAHAWAH by Hashem YAHAWASHI shall be a light unto me. I will bear the indignation of the Lord, because I have sinned against Him, until He plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold His righteousness." So we've been talking about these words, man. The Most High is bringing us to the light, because we know these things now. That also gives you more patience to wait, because we see that it's true what the Lord is saying. That builds your faith up. These words, being able to see, and the prophecies coming to pass. We know that the Lord is near at hand to deliver us and to destroy the wicked.
And real quick, if I may say this, if you look at it in the spiritual sense, the way Tyson Fury, because he was going, he was going through it. He was doing good before, and then he had that falling off. He became sick. He started smoking crack. But then what? He like he said in that interview when he was across Deontay Wilder, he says, "I'm in the light." He's like, "I'm not in the dark," and that's what the Lord is gonna do to the Israelites. Because now look, after he's returned, now he's won. Everybody's like, man, everybody, they got nothing to say about him now.
Right.
But if you look at his journey that he's gone in the spiritual sense, that's the same thing that's going to be done with Israel. with the elect. You know, we were once sick. You know, we was, you know, doing all types of atrocities in the world, but the Most High brought us up, and we had one fight, we had 2 fights, then we had a major fight until we had that ultimate one, and now we back, baby. You know, we gonna have that belt. You know, we're gonna be redeemed. You know, people gonna look at us in astonishment. You know, going into that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. You know, when we get beamed up, you know, people are gonna be looking at us like, damn. Like, this was that guy, this is that dude.
Madness.
Yeah, these were those dudes that were doing all this, you know, wickedness, especially people who knew us from back in the world. They're going to be like, oh man, I know this guy, man. How the hell is he looking up? You know, about to break their neck looking up so high.
Hey, and you know, make a quick point. You know, our scriptures say the things that we suffer now not going to be able to be compared to the things that we receive. And it said, no longer shall it be said that the Lord liveth about the children of the land of Egypt, but the Lord liveth about the children of the land of the north. Right. So, like the brother said, using, you know, the whole Tyson Fury analogy, like, look, his win was so great that people don't even focus on the fact that oh, he was on crack and crack. Like, no, his glory was so great to the point where, you know, like ours gonna be like the nations. They're not even going to evolve to, we used to have them in subjection. And
like, they were wicked? That people was wicked? Because we're going to be perfect. It's going to be unthinkable, you know? Like, there ain't no way those people were wicked, man.
Exactly.
And we close out on this, brother. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 4. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For the Most High proved them and found them worthy for Himself. Well, hey, you know, this is we might be seeing it might seem like we get punished in the sight of men, you know, because what the Lord, if the Lord loves you, He's gonna chastise you, of course, you know. We still go through our hell, you know, but what? We know that there's a greater reward on the other side of this, you know. Like the brother quoted in, I believe it's in Romans, you know, the suffering we're going through now is not comparable with the reward, the glory that we're going to receive, man. Right. Well, what we got to just endure, have patience, you know, continue to follow in the things that you've been taught, you know, and just continue to you know, wait on the Lord, you know. That's right. Teach this word. This isn't, you know, with a trigonometry, you know, it's simple math, you know, a mock truth, you know, and just stick with it. You know, and the Lord's going to give us a reward that we can't even imagine right now. You know, the reward is going to be something beyond this world. You know, literally. So, if you brother want to say anything? No.
Yeah, I actually got a couple of precepts. What you just said, you know, we're going to continue to wait on the Lord. This is Luke 12, verse 34. Just jumping in here, it says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Let your loins be girded about, and your lights burning." You got to stay active in the truth. Stay active in the ministry. And it says, "And ye yourselves like unto men that wait for their Lord, when He will return from the wedding, that when He cometh and knocketh, they may open unto Him immediately. Blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when He cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you, that He shall gird Himself, and make them to sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them." See, so that YAHAWASHI is coming. Like the brothers going into another quick precept.
And another word for the prophets is watching. You know, the watchers. You say you got the Lord when you come back, He want to see you watching, man. You know, you measuring the time. Are you measuring the times? You know, you're supposed to be waiting for the Lord to return. You know, hastening for that day.
Isaiah 65 verse 15, "And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen," talking about the 2/3, "for the Lord power shall slay thee, and call His servants by another name, that he who blesseth himself in the earth shall bless himself in the God of truth. And he that sweareth in the earth shall swear by the God of truth, because the former troubles are forgotten, and because they are hid from mine eyes. For behold, I create a new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind." Like the brother was saying, we ain't even going to be able to even think about this time. We're going to be in glory. It's going to be, you know, the ultimate, the kingdom of heaven, surpassing all technology that's ever existed. You know, all 12 of the tribes in peace among each other, the women as well as the men, the children as well as the men and the women. right?
The earth in its perfection.
Yeah.
You know, you can't even think of that.
That's right.
See chemtrails every day, birds falling out the skies.
Yep. And it goes on, it says, but be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem, and joy in my people, and the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. So, you know, a lot of great things to look forward to. Yeah.
And that's for Israel, man. No more weeping, no more crying.
Yep.
Oh, we're just gonna live life, man.
That's right.
Right? This isn't living, man. Going to work and paying bills. That's not living. That's just hell. You know, but what we're really gonna live, man. And really, we can't imagine it because we've never lived. You know, just imagine that your kids out in the streets playing. You know, the animals. You know, even the animals are gonna be in peace, man, with each other.
Yep. Yep. Isaiah 14 or 12.
Yeah,
whichever one it is. Yeah. Talking about the whole earth is gonna be refreshed. And these damn devils go out of power.
Exactly.
You got to.
So, you know, that's what we're patiently waiting for, man. The manifestation of what we've been preaching, you know.
It's saying another point, and that's why scripture say, woe to you that have lost patience. You know, what shall ye do when the Lord shall visit you? You know, like it says in Luke, you shall see Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob entering the kingdom, me yourselves thrust out. You know, just being a little chastised, we're about to inherit an everlasting kingdom. You know.
So with that, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Ka'akodash.
the honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation and much love to you, sincere Pakium out there, and you know, the women as well that have learned. You know, just keep on keeping on. You know, keep the faith because we're almost out of here. You know, so the Lord's will is edifying and exhorting unto you. Shalom.
Hey,
Shalom.
Use